ladies and gentlemen, to today's Rowdy.com Big Three, and we do have three big burning NASCAR issues to discuss with my friend Jerome Buzz Cutler. My name is Bassmasters, and Cutler, what is issue number one today? Well,
Ray Bestos, who has sponsored the Rookie of the Year award for many, many years, will not be doing so this year. As a matter of fact, no rookies are poised to run in the Sprint Cup Series.
Are you surprised?
Well, I mean, you barely had any last year. Can you count Kevin Conway as a legitimate rookie or a legitimate driver?
Yes, he was a legitimate rookie, but if I'm Ray Bestos, am I getting my money's worth out of Kevin Conway winning the Rookie of the Year title by running 2 laps down every race? No, I'm not getting my money's worth out of it. So it's no surprise that they abandoned ship on this one, and it's too bad.
Well, and here's the thing that I find interesting about the whole Rookie of the Year phenomenon. You had guys like Marcus Ambrose and Brad Keselowski who just chose to skip over their rookie season. They valued seat time more than they did running for the Rookie of the Year award, so they gave up their eligibility by running more than 7 races the year before they went full time.
That's right, and it would be it's kind of one of those things where, hey, it's nice to be able to be the Rookie of the Year, but you're not in any sport. In any sport, it's this way. You're not going to give up a chance to start your major league career just so you can win the Rookie of the Year the next year. People just aren't going to do that. So it's unfortunate that you don't have enough guys to really make this a legitimate award anymore.
Does it say something to you about the current way we develop drivers, that the Rookie of the Year is no longer really legitimate?
It does say a lot to me about the development of drivers. It says there aren't enough young guys coming up through the ranks that are ready to advance to Cup right now.
Well, let's move on to issue number 2. You know, my good friend and yours,
very good friend,
Brian Vickers,
yes,
got behind the wheel of a race car for the first time in, you know, since
May, right?
Since May of last season, down at Walt Disney World Speedway.
What better place? Well, he lives down there, right? He lives in
Tampa, I think.
Somewhere like that. Yeah, somewhere in Central Florida, I believe.
Good to see Brian behind the wheel of a race car, but did we really get any information?
We just got the information that he's definitely coming back, and I think we knew that when Scott Speed was basically let go by Red Bull. They were going to go Casey Kane and Brian Vickers, and he was right on schedule. But until he got behind the wheel of that car, you couldn't feel like 100% sure that this guy is back. And now you can. He is back. It was unfortunate that Mickey outran him there, but, you know, he was trying to knock the rust off.
I think you have to admit that there are still some questions. The questions, for instance, how rusty will he be after having such a long layoff? Over a week-to-week grueling race season, will his health issues flare up again? I hope not, but I still think there are big question marks around Brian Vickers' return to NASCAR.
I think it's more, how does a team function? You know, he was gone for such a long time and not really in that leadership role. He couldn't be if he wasn't driving the race car. And so the team evolved with that. Now the guys they had last year, his replacements, who were from Reed Sorensen, Casey Mears, and various guys, and Scott Speed, both those guys are gone. Now Vickers is back with Casey Kane. So how does that whole thing mesh and gel as a unit? Where is Red Bull as a race team? You know, Brian Vickers made the chase a couple years ago. Where is he? Where's the team stand now? I'm not too worried about him and his talents and his ability and getting back to where he used to be. I think that'll come fairly quickly. I just question where the team is.
Though the pairing of Casey Kane and Brian Vickers certainly could be formidable. I mean, that could be a team to reckon with.
There's a lot of potential there, no doubt about it.
All right, issue number 3. We talked a lot yesterday about the new rule changes in which you have to declare your intention to run for just one championship. But we have a quote from Brad Keselowski that I think brings another aspect of this issue into play here. Let's check out what Brad had to say.
We already have previous agreements with sponsors that are long-term. Nobody likes to go back on their word, even if you're forced to do it. So I'm concerned for my sponsors and for the personnel that are in place because of those sponsors. Because if there is a change, I'm not confident that our sponsors will stay, because obviously it's not what they've agreed to. And if they don't stay, then the people on my teams don't stay. That's where I'm concerned.
Interesting perspective as far as the guys on my team and the sponsorship dollars. And Cutler, we were talking about this in my office earlier, and here's what I said to you, and I'll say it again. If you're Discount Tires, and you got a package with Brad Keselowski to run the full season, well, that basics of that package are more or less the same. You got Brad Keselowski, you got Discount Tires on the car, you got a chance to win races, you got 35 events. You got a chance to win oh, no, you don't. How much does that devalue the money that you're paying to Penske Racing? The fact that Brad won't be in the running for a championship. And if I'm Discount Tires, do I go to Penske? And you know that I don't know, $5 million I was going to pay you for this program. I think it should be more like $4.5 million now.
And the other aspect of this that occurred to me is, if this is the case, might Discount Tire say, you know what? Instead of backing Brad, maybe we'd like you to try to get Justin Allgaier back in here. He will be able to run for a championship, and maybe we'd rather put our resources in that direction. Well, now, I think that ship has sailed.
Certainly, but I would say less the sponsors that already sponsor Cup guys, because I think the primary thing is you get a Cup driver with name recognition, you get a chance to run up front and win races and be in victory lane, and that's going to be the primary thing. But to the extent that there's value, and I think there is, in running for a championship in the NASCAR Nationwide Series, well, that value, those dollars that bought you that value, will now have to go to a Justin Allgaier or a Trevor Bayne or a Steve Wallace or someone. They will have to go there. They cannot go to Brad Keselowski and Carl Edwards and Kyle Busch.
Well, and it comes back to what are your sponsorship goals, right? Because every sponsor comes to NASCAR, whether it be the Nationwide Series or the Cup Series, with different goals in mind. Some guys, like, when Yellow Shipping was sponsoring Johnny Sauter, that was because they wanted the perks for their clients. So what is your goal as a sponsor? And if it's to get the visibility and the prestige that comes with the championship, yesterday we talked about how this is going to give more PR value to these young guys like the Steve Wallaces and the Jason Lefflers and the Justin Allgaiers. Maybe, in some ways, it will also bring more dollars into their race teams, and those guys will have a better shot.
Because they have now something to offer that they really didn't have to offer before, and it's a question of, does that attract dollars? And maybe it's not this year that we see that, but maybe next year.
Right.
All right, that has been your Rowdy.com Big Three for today. For Buzz Cutler, my name is Bass Masters. Do join us at Rowdy.com. A lot of good discussions going on over there. Forums on everything from the Nationwide Series rule change to whether we're like Larry, Curly, and Mo, or the Three Amigos.
I said
Tinker to Everest to Chance. That's a good trio.
Yeah,
so lots to do over there. We hope we'll see you there. Until next time, my name is Bass. This is Cutler. Farewell for now.
Rowdy.com. Say it like it is.
Say what like it is?
Rowdy.com.